And welcome back to the Morning Blend, where we're making money sense with Ellenbecker Investment Group. You know, summertime is a great time to spend time with family and friends. It's also a great time to check in with your aging parents and find out how they're doing and how you can help.
Karen Ellenbecker is the president of Ellenbecker Investment Group. She is here with more on how to make a plan for now and a plan for later, too. Great to see you this morning. Thank you, Karen.
Going to have a nice warm day today.
Yes. Yeah, super warm, a little on the humid side, too. One of the things that you suggest is to assess the situation. So one of the things in more immediate or more urgent is, do you have a crisis on your hands? Is there a problem that exists that needs immediate attention?
So often you get into a situation and you're busy and you really don't take time to notice what's going on. And so it's just sort of stepping back and taking a view of the whole situation. Your parents, how are they interacting? How does the house look? Just kind of look at everything. Often, well, with our kids, I think of the frog in the pot of cold water, and then they turn it up, it doesn't know it's getting cooked, because you're kind of in it. And so it so often a client will call us about their parents, and they're in a crisis mode. And so now what we started asking our clients is, how are your parents? I mean, how are they doing? Are they healthy? And it really comes up in conversation as we're talking about their retirement and their own health. What is your family history? And it's amazing what comes up, and they'll say, I just noticed, we were just with them at Christmas or the holidays, and I just noticed my mother's much slower. My dad and them, they're not talking as much, and there's things in the refrigerator that shouldn't be in the refrigerator. And the house, my mom was always immaculate, and she dressed immaculately. And now I see that her clothes are soiled, and she isn't seen or she isn't aware. And those are just little tidbits, little things that can give you an awareness to just look a little deeper.
So then you suggest starting to prioritize their needs, because I think a lot of people probably start thinking, well, what do I want for them? What do I want this to look like or be like? But really prioritizing their needs.
Yes, to ask them, have the conversation with them. Sometimes we're afraid to say things. Mom, I just noticed that you've got a lot of things in your clothes. You don't want to hurt their feelings, but bringing them and involving them is brings a much more harmonious conversation along. But just find out what's really important to them.
Make a list of what needs to be done right now, things that need to be fixed, things that need to be addressed.
Yep. All the different things that you start to notice, just jot them down, because we think we're going to go home and remember, and we really don't.
And safety first.
Safety. One of the number one fear that adults have as they age is falling and breaking something, because that kind of starts a chain reaction of things. So making sure that they are safe and that they feel safe. Check the stairs that they're walking down, that there isn't a lot of stuff on there, because that whole falling is,
and the bathroom is a place where a lot of people have accidents, so making sure that's
front
safe
steps.
too. Front steps, things like that.
Prioritizing their independence kind of goes along with that, and a lot of parents who are aging want to stay in their home if possible. So is that what you mean by doing that?
Yes, one of the things that I find with even my own clients as well as their parents is they wait too long to make a move, and they really don't talk about it. They don't want to identify it. So a lot of times parents will just kind of cover things up so that you don't really know. One of my favorite things is I'll have a client talk about their parents, and I'll say, well, how financially secure are your parents? And he'll say, my mother says that she's great. And then I'll have another client that said, my mother says that she's not great. And it's all in their mindset. So one of my clients at one point had very much money and just didn't want to spend it, and was saying she wasn't fine. Right. And another one kept saying, I'm fine, don't worry about me, and she was running out of money. So having those conversations and really getting to the root of where they are, it's just so much easier sometimes to ignore it. And then you find yourself in crisis mode, and then you almost can't deal with it. It's so hard.
And as it relates to money and making sure your parents have enough and making sure that they're, have the safe and secure plan, are there ways that you can address those types of issues with your parents?
Boy, isn't that hard? I remember with my own mom, we were sort of taught you just don't ask about money. And many times parents feel, well, if you ask about it, you're going to borrow it, or you know, or you want to know, or you're going to want it, or you're going to control
or you're going to micromanage them.
Micromanage them, and
Their
they want their independence. But it's really important to have that conversation, because then as a family you can come together and have a resolution. What should we do? How would we help mom and dad, or what would be the what would be the outcome? I remember thinking that when my mother, we always thought my mother got sick, and early when she was in her 50s, she got cancer. Kind of in the back of our minds, we always thought my mother would be the one that would maybe pass away first. And we all talked about my dad and how he could come and live with us. Well, I'll tell you, when my dad got sick, he was such a baby. We thought none of us wanted to put up what my mother was putting up with, because we didn't really see the situation. My mother just kind of was in that old school, waited on my dad, hand and foot. And when my dad got sick, he was very difficult. When my mother was sick, she was strong. You know, she really took charge. So it's understanding your parents and what that responsibility is going to look like, and how you can talk to them about it.
Well, and the resources that they have, because if you have a parent who's a veteran, for example, there are resources that are available to them, services that you can take advantage of.
One of the things that we really like to do is to sit down with clients and make sure that they have an attorney, make sure they have an accountant, and have the kids get to meet them. So when something happens, you know who to call and what to do. And as a family, sit down and look at your estate planning documents and understand who has the power of attorney for health care, who is going to make those decisions, who is going to step in and pay for checks, and write the checks and pay for utilities, and keep life going. I mean, in the event that something happens. So when families can sit down and do that as a family, it's an amazing how well you can handle almost any situation or any crisis that comes up.
That's great.
I think it's important information, and if you need assistance with yourself or your parents' financial needs, or you want help planning your financial future, just call Ellenbecker Investment Group. They take the time that you need to feel comfortable and safe discussing your situation. Ellenbecker.com, or call her at 262-291-3200, and they are now open in Whitefish Bay as well. So if you're on the North Shore,
Congratulations.
Yeah, you can head over there.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Good to